Hello everyone, this is Glenda and welcome back to my channel Creative Grandma. Today's crochet tutorial is going to be for this super quick and easy dish scrubby. I went to Hobby Lobby and I found this new Yarn Bee Scrub-ology Scrub It yarn and I was just having so much fun with it. I made a dish scrubby. Now this is kind of on the lines of the other one I made. They're super quick, super easy, and you can make a lot of these in one day. It doesn't take very long to make one of these, and they make excellent Christmas gifts. Now let me show you the yarn I discovered at Hobby Lobby this past week. And I was just so excited. I showed this in my sneak peek video of what I bought at Hobby Lobby. And this is the Yarn Bee Scrub-ology Scrub It yarn. It's a 3-ounce skein. It's 79 yards. And this particular one is color number lemon number 04. It's a nice stretchy, it's nylon. It's a 5 bulky weight yarn. It's a 3.0 ounce ball. It's 85 grams, 79 yards, and it's 73 meters. So I didn't use up the whole ball of yarn yet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to make the dish scrubby. And then before I end the video, I'll work up the whole skein and then I'll let you know exactly how many dish scrubbies you can get out of a skein. And that way you can determine how much you may want to purchase for your future needs of making these scrubbies. So let me just review the 4 colors I have here again, if you didn't see the other video. This is color number 4 and it's lemon. This one is color number 3 and it's orange. This one is color number 6, aqua. And then I chose this really bright, it's almost like a hot pink. It's called bright pink and this is color number 8. So really nice bright colors for the spring, summer, Easter season. What you're going to need is 1 skein of whatever color you wish. Now it doesn't take a full skein, but you're going to need at least 1 skein to start. You're going to need a size 10J or 6mm crochet hook. You're going to need a pair of scissors, and you're going to need a yarn needle for weaving in those ends. So grab your supplies, and I'll be right back, and we'll start our dish scrubby. Now for my scrubby, I'm going to use that beautiful bright orange. And I already tied a double knot around my hook and attached my yarn to my hook. So what we're going to do to start is you're going to chain 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4. For round 1, we're going to work 14 triple crochet into this same 4th chain from hook. You're going to yarn over twice, once and twice. You're going to skip those first 3 chain, insert into that 4th chain from hook, yarn over, pull through that chain. You have 4 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, and pull through 2. That is how you work a triple crochet. I'll show you one more time how to do a triple. You're going to yarn over twice. You're going to come down and go back into that same chain that you worked your last stitch. Yarn over, pull through that chain. Yarn over, pull through 2. Yarn over, pull through 2. Yarn over, and pull through 2. So now we have our beginning chain 3 where we skip 3 chain. That's going to count as your first triple. You already worked 2 triple, so you need to work 12 more triple into this same chain. So yarn over twice, insert back into that same chain, work your triple crochet. So now you can count your stitches. They're very clear to see. You have 1, 2, 3 plus that beginning chain 3. You need 14 double crochet into that same chain. You worked 3 of the 14. you need to work 11 more triple crochet into that same chain, and I'll meet you at the end of round 1. Now I wanted to pop back in. I worked 8 of my triple crochet stitches, and as you're getting over to the end, your work may want to ball up like that. That's going to be normal because your next round is going to stretch that back in shape. But as you go over to the end, you want to work over this piece of yarn here, and you're going to have to take your stitches and you're just going to have to pull them back like so. Just pull them back towards you to make room to get the rest of those stitches into that chain. So I'm going to finish working the rest of my triple, and I'll meet you at the end of round 1. I'm over at the end of round 1. We have our beginning, let me take my hook out. We have our beginning chain 3 here that counts as our first triple, and then you should have 14 additional triple around. You can count your stitches by counting the post. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14. So with that beginning chain 3, you have 15 stitches around at the end of round 1. So now we're going to slip stitch into the top of that beginning chain 3. Now remember, your first chain is clear down here, so you're going to count up 1, 2, 3, insert into the top of that beginning chain 3, yarn over, pull through that chain, and pull through the loop on your hook. Now when you look at my work, you can see it looks like a little bowl. And you think, oh my goodness, but that's how it's supposed to look. Now I'm just going to take my scissors and I'm just going to clip this because I already worked over the end. For round 2, we're going to start with a chain 1. And then you're going to bring your hook down, and I love this because it stretches. It just has some really good stretch to it. Just pull your work, find the top of that beginning chain 3 where you joined, insert your hook into the top of that same chain, and we're going to work 2 single crochet. 1, insert back into that same space, work your second single crochet. And again, this is going to stretch so this becomes flat. You're going to insert into the next stitch, so make sure you get the front loop and the back loop, both top loops, and you're going to work 2 single crochet. 1 and 2. So let's do it together one more time. Insert into the top of that next stitch and work 2 single crochet. 1, insert back into that same stitch and work your second single crochet. Continue and work 2 single crochet in each stitch around. When you get to the end of round 2, you should have a total of 30 single crochet stitches, and I'll meet you there. I'm over at the end of round 2. Now you still have a little bit of a dip in your scrubby, and that's perfect because we're still going to make this flatter once we join the 2 together. So it's flatter than it was, and then that will work itself out as well. So now we're going to go ahead and join right into the top of that beginning single crochet. You're going to skip that joining bar that goes horizontal across your work. You're going to insert under the top 2 strands of that first beginning single crochet and slip stitch. Yarn over, pull through the top of that stitch, and pull through the loop on your hook. So now I'm just going to fasten off. I'm just going to cut my string, and then I chain 2. 1 and 2. Now with this yarn, I suggest that you chain 2 and then pull the yarn out because this is so slippery. You really want to make sure you have a secure knot and this doesn't work itself out when you're doing those dishes because you're going to be using these very hard. Just grab your string that you cut off, pinch it, pull down, and it creates a very nice secure knot. This part of the scrubby is finished. So now what you want to do is you're going to click back on the video. You're going to make another scrubby. You're going to repeat rounds 1 and 2, but at the end of round 2, do not fasten off. I'll meet you at the end of round 2 when I get my second scrubby piece made, and then I'm going to show you how to put your scrubby together and join them together with this beautiful lacy type border. I'll be right back. I have my second piece of my scrubby made, so I repeated rounds 1 and 2. I joined my round together, but we're not going to fasten off. So now you're going to take the first piece of the scrubby that you made, and then I'm just going to take my yarn needle, thread that through your yarn needle, and you're just going to take your yarn needle and weave that end in through the back side of your stitches to just secure it so it doesn't come out when you're doing the dishes. So just weave it through, and then I pull it out a little bit, and then I'll trim it again. So there it is, and then you're just going to take the piece, your second piece that you still have your hook in, and what I do is I do not like to start them both in the same joining stitch. I like to turn that so it's not starting in the same stitch. It just gives it a little bit nicer look. So we're going to start and we're going to chain 1. You're going to insert back into that same stitch here where you joined. If you have to pull it apart, right here in that first stitch, insert your hook, and then insert your hook under the top 2 loops of any stitch on the other piece. Now you want the wrong sides together. This is the right side, so this is the wrong side, and then you want the wrong side facing up, and you put those 2 wrong sides together. So when you're looking at your work, you really have to turn it to see those top 2 loops. So insert into the top loop, and you're going to slip stitch. Yarn over, pull through both pieces, and you're matching those stitches up. You're going to chain 1. Now you're going to insert your hook into the top 2 loops of the next stitch on the top. You're going to match it up with the same stitch on the bottom piece. Insert under the top 2 loops, slip stitch. You're going to chain 1, and this is the start of the repeat. And then you're going to insert your hook into the next stitch, match it up to the stitch on the one below, and slip stitch. And this is how you're joining your scrubby together, and you're creating that beautiful little edging on your dish scrubber. So let me show you one more time. This is the repeat. Chain 1, insert under the top 2 loops of the next stitch, match it up to the stitch on the bottom piece, yarn over, pull through both pieces, and pull through the loop on your hook. Chain 1, insert into the next stitch under both of those top loops, match it up to the stitch on the bottom piece, and slip stitch. Yarn over, pull through both pieces, and pull through the loop on your hook. So go ahead and repeat chain 1, slip stitch into the next stitch, and you're working through both pieces. Repeat that around, and I'll meet you at the end of round 3. I'm over at the end of round 3. This is what your dish scrubby should look like. This is the front, this is the back, and now we need to join. So what we're going to do to join is we're going to end the round with a chain 1, and then you're going to skip this joining bar here where that horizontal bar goes across, and we're going right into that space right here where we started. So look for the horizontal bar that goes sideways, and then you're going to follow it down right underneath that stitch, and you're going to slip stitch. Yarn over, pull through that space, and pull through the loop on your hook. And then we're going to fasten off. Now I leave a little bit longer length because you need to weave that end in. I chain 2, 1, 2, and then I'm going to pull that tight. Pull it right down and tighten that up to make a nice secure knot. So this is what it looks like. I'm going to grab my yarn needle. And this is the back side. So this is the front where you fastened off. You're going to flip it over. So what I like to do is I like to bring it right down so it comes to the back. I insert under those 2 loops, and then I'm going to bring it right down to that second round of where those single crochet stitches were, and I'm just going to pull it right underneath, and you're putting your needle underneath this round of stitches, but it's in between the 2 dishcloths. Make sure you don't come out through the front. So let me pull that through. I just tighten that up a bit, and then I come back the other way. I skip a stitch. You don't want to come back through the same stitch. Skip that stitch, grab the next stitch, and this just makes it really nice and secure, so when you're doing those dishes, you double weed so it prevents those ends from coming out. And then just trim that end. So far I got 2 scrubbies and I still have this much yarn left over. So I'm going to go ahead and work this up real quick, and I'll be right back and I'll tell you exactly how many scrubbies you can get out of 1 ball of yarn. So I worked up my skein of yarn. I was able to get 4 scrubbies out of 1 skein of yarn. Now this yarn was $4.29 a skein. Now I got it for 30% off, so you reduce the price by about $1.20, and it cost me about $3.10 a skein to make 4 scrubbies. So I was asked the question, Glenda, how do you determine your price of when you're selling at a craft show? So what I would do is I would take 4 scrubbies and I would divide it by the price that I paid for the yarn. Now again, I got this at 30% off, so you either have to use the full price that you paid or the 30% off. So with 30% off, this skein of yarn cost me somewhere around $3 to make these 4 scrubbies. So I'm going to say it cost me about 75 cents to make this scrubby. So my price point is usually 2 to 3 times the cost of the materials that you bought to make your item. So I would either sell it for $1.50 or you can bump it up to $2. Now I have seen these as high as $3.50 in the stores in my area. Now I believe because this is such a quick and easy pattern, you really don't need to have a real high profit margin of running these clear up to $3.50, because you want to sell your items. If you get too greedy and you mark your prices up way too high, then your items are going to sit there. My suggestion to anybody doing the craft shows is start your item at a reasonable price. Start it at about 2 times what it costs to make. Unless it's a really complicated design, then you can consider that into all the factors. But quick and easy designs that you make up quickly, that are inexpensive to make, it's better to start low. And if you find you have whole piles of scrubbies at your craft stand and you just have a beautiful selection, and at the end of the day when the craft show is over and this is what it looks like and they're all gone, then you know that you can raise your price next time you do a craft show. If you make all these beautiful scrubbies and you have them priced at $3 or $3.50, and at the end of the day they're still sitting in your basket, then you know that your price was too high. So these are all the things you need to consider when you're doing craft shows and making some of these projects. Especially the quick and easy ones is where you can make the most money by selling low but still making a profit. I hope you enjoyed making this dish scrubby with me today. The free pattern is in the description box underneath this video for your convenience. Very short. You can just copy it down and you can get started right away. Now make sure if you're not a subscriber, you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of the crochet fun. Happy crocheting, everyone.